Birds tell us. And they're telling us that we are out of balance. Oh, I've got a meadowlark. When we were coming out here, just the number of meadowlarks that we were flushing. Oh, meadowlark, everybody knows that bird, but it has lost 75% of its population. Grassland birds are in trouble.
It's so overwhelming how much life has come into this land.
The biggest return of wildlife has been in the form of birds.
When we first bought the property, we did baselines of everything, including bird species count. So we had the Audubon Society come out. The first time they came to our property and did a bird species count, they counted 8 total species. Last fall when they came out, we are over 150 species of birds.
If we focus on producing grass, everything falls in place.
As we've increased forage and grass species on the ranch, we went from 25 acres of cow down to 10, and now we're going less than that. The secondary benefit is the wildlife keeps getting better. As we've increased the cattle amount, the quail are increasing alongside it. The way we've worked together to manage the ranch is kind of like a welcome mat to wildlife. Wherever they're coming from, they find a place that they want to stay. We feel like an oasis in terms of the grass that we have and the amount of water we have.
We can create any type of bird habitat that is needed. So for ground nesting birds, I can use my livestock as a tool.
The more grass available to them, the more cattle that they can run on the same acres. And it also means the birds and the bees. It's the wildlife, it's the biodiversity.
Regenerative grazing may not seem like the most obvious partnership for a bird conservation organization, but it is.
One of the biggest non-production and non-financial reasons that we see these ranchers making this transition. They love birds. They want to see birds back on their ranch.
If the quail are good, it really means that your whole wildlife picture is good.
In 2 hours of riding, in some cases, I flushed 10 copies.
When we're implementing these regenerative principles and practices and implementing adaptive grazing practices, that we start to see a lot of birds return to the landscape.
The beauty of regenerative grazing, you have stages of pastures that are providing different habitat to different species. Before, with us all managing all of this system was a patchwork. The bison would come through, they'd clear it out, and then they would move on, and they may not be back for a year or 2 years. Bird species would find their niche.
Just like these birds used to follow what I call the Serengeti of the U.S., where we had the bison, we had the elk, we had the deer, all of these different species that would move together. We can use our livestock to simulate those wild ruminants that used to be the habitat for these birds. In eastern New Mexico, there is a lesser prairie chicken preserve. They do not allow livestock, they allow no grazing. We've been working with ranchers that immediately border that prairie chicken preserve. Guess where all the prairie chickens are now? Not on the preserve, they're on the ranches. Audubon approached us and became very interested in this. Prior to that, Audubon actually was anti-grazing, anti-livestock, anti-cow. But when they learned about adaptive grazing, then they approached us and said, hey, we would like to know more. We worked with them to develop the Audubon Conservation Ranching and Bird-Friendly Certification programs, specifically targeted at restoring habitat for ground nesting birds. And they have since taken off on that, and from Texas all the way through the upper Midwest and the northern Great Plains, have now become a part of the program.
The reality is
The land is so forgiving. The forgiveness is built into all land. It's our job as stewards to really just get out of the way and to work with our land as opposed to constantly working against it. It's amazing that if you create the right conditions, they will come. You know, like life begets life. All you need to do is set the stage and all the wildlife just come flowing in.
If we're serious about grassland bird conservation, then we have to work with private landowners. We have to take any solution that we can find because we have to be extremely efficient with our actions.
It's really critically important that we think big here.
40% of the land mass of the U.S. is active cattle families. A lot of money is spent to recreate what those hardworking families do on a daily basis. We have a unique opportunity to drive incredible impact at a scale that no one's seen before.
People that are buying these carbon credits are doing more for the future of ranching in this country than anybody else right now. I do not want these large companies to lose sight of the fact of the impact they're making at the ground level, because it is a direct line to benefiting the ranch.
We have the option to perpetuate more and more biodiversity and more conditions that are conducive for life. That's really what we're trying to do here, is just work with Mother Nature and the architecture that she provides and create those conditions.